All right, nerds, we are here. I wanted to do this yesterday, and then I wanted to do this morning, and here we are, finally. So, I'm gonna mess with the camera a little bit. I apologize. Let's get that better. All right, better. Okay, so we have a little bit of a limited amount of time. We don't have a lot of big things to talk about for this stream. So we're going to have a couple of little things to kind of fill some space that are still pretty interesting and great. I feel like the microphone is a little hot. I apologize. All right. So before we get into the things and the news and the stuff and the jazz and the hey, go check out the merch store. Link down in the description. You can go get your music nerd shirt, the Phantom Nerd. Like I said, I am working on a new line of designs. Right now, this is the most recent and the one I'm the most proud of. There is other stuff up there too if you want to proclaim yourself as a giant nerd in just a general sense or in any one of the specific categories that we cover. There is stuff there for you. So go check out the Nerdy Merch store. Also, don't forget to hit up our, oops, that is the wrong window. Don't forget to hit up our sponsor, our channel partner, w.gg is the website. You can go check that out. Get yourself some caffeinated beverages and use code Generally Nerdy at checkout. You will get 10% off of your entire cart. So it's not just the caffeine. You got shaker bottles. They have t-shirts and other things there as well. Though the shaker bottles are definitely worth it. They also have like a sample pack. So you can put together, or you can grab yourself rather a sample pack. I don't know that you can customize the sample packs, but you can definitely grab a sample pack and taste about 5 different flavors. Pretty freaking awesome. I legitimately love Dubby. Calio cream is great. The tiger's blood is fantastic. The best one by far, though, is the s'mores flavor. It sounds odd that you would get a caffeinated drink that is an energy drink. It tastes like s'mores, but it straight up tastes like s'mores. It's awesome. I love it. I need to order more. That being said, that is all of the official necessary things. So let's now get to the news. I just killed my microphone. All right, so we're going to get a little bit of tunes going just because I'm tired of doing it in post. So let's get the music back. Ah! In my headphones, a little too loud. All right. We will have to pause this because there is a trailer that you're going to be watching. That's one of the big things that we have is the Clayface trailer has officially dropped. Well, the teaser trailer, I guess. And it's going to be great. Anyway, so why are we not? There we go. Ha 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 ha! We have sounds and things. All right, nerds. Talk about the news. So, we have our first reveal at Daphne for the Netflix Scooby-Doo Origins movie. McKenna Grace has posted a picture. Look at that. She looks like Daphne. That's dope. Nothing crazy here. Like, McKenna Grace revealed her full Daphne look for Netflix's Scooby-Doo Origins, giving fans a better look at her take on Daphne Blake after the first official cast image dropped as filming gets underway in Atlanta. Do we have said first cast image? We abso-freaking-lutely do. Let's check that out real quick. First cast image. So this looks like they're going to be adding Scooby here at the bottom. when we get much closer to production. They're also probably gonna like, this is super. We're on set. There's not a whole lot here that we can do, so let's just do something so that people can be satiated. Yeah, that's. I mean, there's really not much more to this that we don't already have. We have pretty well covered this since it was announced. Actually, since it was rumored for some time. So that's what we got on that. Let's get to our next our next follow-up. We'll do another real quick follow-up, and that is Spider-Man Noir. We finally have official announcement of who the villains are going to be. So the Nicolas Cage Spider-Man Noir series coming to Prime. There's the right there. Oh, look at that. That looks really cool. I actually hadn't looked at this yet until just now. This is pretty dope. I could totally get behind that. Anyway, article is as such. This is just a real quickie so that we know who the heck he's going up against. A new featurette for Spider-Man Noir has dropped, pulling back the curtain on the series lineup, villains, and show, and how Marvel's rogues are being reimagined in the 1933 New York series. Upcoming live-action series stars Nicolas Cage as Ben Reilly, a hardened private investigator known as the Spider, battling organized crime and powered threats in Prohibition-era alternate universe. Watch below. New posters have also been debuted. Yeah. Oh, dope. That one I like even more. That's really freaking cool. All right. The main threat is mob boss Silvermane, played by Brendan Gleeson. According to the featurette, Silvermane has controlled organized crime for 30 years. After someone burns down his mansion, tensions explode. He's described as power-hungry and psychopathic, but also smarter than the typical crime lord. Silvermane isn't just another gangster. He's the center of a larger conspiracy that pulls the Spider deeper into the criminal underworld. Jack Houston plays Sandman, described as the ultimate anti-hero. His powers are both strength and his curse, adding a tragic edge to the character. That should be interesting and dynamic. Abraham Papula, I think, takes on Tombstone, who is said to be more layered and grounded than previous versions. This featurette hints that something more nefarious is unfolding behind the scenes, tying classic comic book villains into darker street-level story. Andrew Lewis Caldwell also appears as Megawatt. That was the electrical supervillain that we saw in the previous featurette, adding another powered presence to the mix. Featurette emphasizes it's not traditional Spider-Man story. The version of this Spider-Man operates in a separate dimension shaped by dangerous gangsters and 1930s noir aesthetic. Cage's character even admits Spider-Man was never a hero. I only did it for the thrill. Whoa, interesting. Before being challenged with the idea that there's still time to become one. That's pretty cool. If you want to watch the featurette, go watch the featurette. We're not going to watch it here on stream. We're only going to do the Clayface one, which is not the next thing we're talking about. The next thing we're talking about is the one that I really wanted to get to. Probably, honestly, should have put this as the teaser on the thumbnail, but I didn't. We're talking about Gen V getting canceled. Yikes. The show that I thought was the better of the two until season 2 dropped, I still haven't even finished season 2, has been canceled. So, Gen V is officially done at Amazon Prime Video. The Boys spinoff has been canceled after 2 seasons, ending the Godalkin University story as a standalone series. The news follows the season 2 finale failing to chart on Nielsen, another sign the franchise has lost its steam. Excuse me. While I wish we could keep the party going another season at Godalkin, we are committed to continuing the Gen V character stories in The Boys Season 5. Good lord, why? And the other VCU projects on the horizon, said VCU executive producer Eric Kripke and Evan Goldberg. Damn it, Kripke, you used to be so amazing. What happened to you, my buddy? You'll see them again, he assures. Some of the characters are slated to return to Boys Season 5, currently airing in its final season, but Gen V, as its own series, is over. The Boys is also ending. We know this. Spinoffs are still moving forward. This is the key here. Amazon still has more of the Boys related projects in the works. Vought Rising, the prequel spinoff starring Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy, is set for 2027, and The Boys Mexico also remains in active development, though Kripke previously said it is still in the pilot scripting stage. So we might only get one more spinoff, and if it doesn't do well because Kripke can't keep his freaking politics to himself, then that'll be the end of the Boys franchise, as far as Amazon Prime is concerned. So that's significant. We're going to... Where should we go next? I think we're going to talk about Gina Carano. This will be the first one that was teased in the thumbnail. Gina Carano confirms she spoke with Filoni and Favreau. This is feeding the rumor mill like crazy. I don't think we're going to address any of the actual rumors involving this. This is just the hard facts, but you can definitely imagine what the rumors are saying. Anyway, following earlier rumors, Gina Carano is talking more about where things stand with Star Wars after settling her lawsuit with Disney and Lucasfilm. And it sounds like the door is not closed. Appearing on the Ariel Helwani show, is that how that name is pronounced? Carano said that she already spoken with Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau following the settlement. Comments come after recent rumors claimed Carano would be in line for a major Star Wars return as Cara Dune. I still think she's going to have a cameo at the very least in the Mando movie, but that's just me. Carano says she spoke with Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. Carano said Ariel Helwani is what we're going with for that pronunciation. Conversation happened after the lawsuit was settled. I've already had a conversation with Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. Really lovely after we settled the lawsuit. We got into a Zoom call. It was really nice. Dave Filoni is taking over as CEO of Star Wars. He didn't even miss a beat. Jon Favreau was really funny. He got in the Zoom call and was like, so where did we leave off? That's awesome. I love that so freaking much because there's no good reason why Cara Dune has not been part of this. Like, imagine the epic story that could have been told if we weren't overly concerned with, honestly, silly things that were said in social media in the real world. And like, oh, it's so dumb. But like, Cara could have grounded season 3. Like, I'm okay with the way season 2 played out without her, to a degree. Like, it was, they made it work. But if you had brought her back for season 3 and then used that to be a primary story driver, like, that could have been a sub story to the main story of the Mythosaur and like all of the Darksaber stuff. Like, having Cara be what also grounds this instead of trying to do these weird one-off episodes like the one with Jack Black, and I can't even remember who it was that played his wife, but like just that ridiculousness and some of those really super random, like the nonsense. If we had a solid B plot throughout the entire season of the third season, that would have just been so much more commanding, and it wouldn't be in the garbage state that it's in. Like, season 3 just left such a bad taste in everybody's mouth, mine included, that like, I just don't understand the desire to get rid of Cara Dune. It just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, she laughed while recalling the exchange and added, we hadn't spoke for a while. He was like, where did we leave off? And I was like, yeah. Carano also said Filoni and Favreau have, quote, been in that world a long time, unquote, referring to their work building out the Mandalorian side of the Star Wars universe. Like, this season 3 just pisses me off. I'm sorry. We're going to keep going. Carano also talked about choosing to move forward after everything that happened. Quote, you either think you have a decision in life, she said. You can go left and you can go and just completely give up on yourself and wallow in pain and regret and all of that. Or you can go right and you can get your expletive deleted together and you can say, no, I'm going to do everything I can. She said, I've chosen to go that direction and I feel more alive than I've ever felt. That's awesome. Bootstraps and all, baby. It's a big change from where things stood after Disney and Lucasfilm cut ties with Carano in 2021. Her character, Cara Dune, had been positioned as a major part of The Mandalorian, with Rangers of the New Republic also would have been a dope-ass show, widely believed to have been built around her before the project was shelved. It wasn't canceled explicitly, ? Like, we could still get it. That would be really awesome. Carano's comments also follow the recent rumor that she would return to Star Wars in a big way. This is what I'm saying right here. I think this is feeding into the idea that she's going to appear to some degree. I think it's probably just going to be a cameo, but she's still going to be in the Mando movie. Comes out next month, end of next month. I really think there's something to that. I don't think she's got a significant role because there was still too much going on when they began filming and throughout most of filming. But the lawsuit was settled before they sent this thing out to be in theaters, and now they're sending it out to be in theaters. So I really think they did something. Maybe it's a post-credit stinger, I don't know, but some sort of cameo. She's going to be there. And you can take that one. You can't really take that one to the bank because I don't really have insiders, but I'm pretty confident. Anyway, previously reported, a rumor says that Carano's Disney settlement included a deal for her to star in a revived Rangers of the New Republic series. That would be cool. I don't know if I buy that. I think that would be really awesome, but I don't know. I think she has to completely renegotiate. And I don't think that's necessarily happened. Like, she might have negotiated a very small deal for the cameo in said Mandalorian movie, but I don't think that's the situation. Rumor claimed the show would feature Timothy Olyphant returning as Cobb Vanth and Jon Favreau having full creative control. Yes, I do remember that. Also being claimed, Favreau left Mandalorian and Grogu movie to focus on a secret Star Wars project, which could potentially be the Carano series. All right, so that's what we got for that. I'm super stoked for this because this is going to help Star Wars immensely. I'm very much convinced of that. All right, let's do another couple quickies. So first up, we have our first look at the Hulk in Brand New Day. Through the toys, obviously. The Hulk figure reveal comes with a short description and raises big questions. Spider-Man is surprised to see the Hulk again after so much time has passed and has no idea if Hulk will remember him. Will Hulk be a friend or foe? That's an interesting setup, but that's also, like, I really find it crazy that so much weight is put on the reveals in the toy department, because the toys are geared specifically for the kids, and the movies and the series and everything are geared more to the people who are actively tracking the continuity. So I don't think that you should put too much weight on a toy description. I've maintained this for the entire length of the existence of this channel. I do not believe that this is a thing that you should really spend too much time on. But still pretty cool that we get to see the toys. So we're not going to waste too much time on that. We do have another quick one for casting. The Battlefield movie has brought in Christopher McQuarrie and Michael B. Jordan. Battlefield movie in the works. Christopher McQuarrie attached to write, direct, and produce feature adaptation of the EA Games franchise. Michael B. Jordan is also attached to produce and could star in the movie depending on how the project comes together. That would be really cool. I think that would be a fantastic Michael B. Jordan vehicle. And like, the Battlefield, because we covered Call of Duty last week, so the fact that Battlefield is also getting made, Battlefield is similar in that, you know, they're both based on actual events, but I feel like Battlefield is a little bit more loose with the actual events stuff. Also, they definitely dip pretty hard into the sci-fi side of things, so I feel like there's a little bit more leeway in that franchise than there is in the Call of Duty franchise, so I'm slightly more hype about that, but only slightly, because I still don't play those games. Let's talk our next big one right here. This is going to be, we're going to have to pause the tunes because we're going to talk about the Clayface. All right, so we got our first teaser for Clayface. Let's just kind of talk about the article real quick before we watch the teaser itself. The imagery looks so freaking awesome. All right, so James Gunn is clearing up how Clayface fits within the DCU following the release of the first teaser trailer. After fans question how a full horror movie can exist in the same universe as Superman, Lanterns, and Peacemaker, Gunn said that is exactly the point. According to Gunn, the DCU is designed to allow different creative voices, tones, and genres while still remaining connected. On Threads, Gunn responded when a fan asked at James Gunn, seeing that Clayface seems to be a horror film, is the DCU going to include more films of different genres other than the standard superhero action variety? Gunn replied, yes. From the start, we've been clear that the DCU would be interconnected, but each project would be full expressions of their writers and directors, similar to how DC Comics work. Saga of the Swamp Thing, Justice League International, Killing Joke, and All-Star Squadron are not one tone, and neither are Superman, Lanterns, Peacemaker, and Clayface. The film or show will play in whatever genre suits the story best. Clayface is not a hybrid superhero horror film, rather. It is a horror film. Like, that is the way you do that. Comic books are just a vehicle. They are not all encompassing. You can't just pick up a book and know exactly what you're going to get. It is a vehicle. It's much like anime or manga or whatever. It's a vehicle through which you tell a story. The genre comes in when you're talking about what the story is. So the movies should reflect that. If it's based on a comic book, is it a horror book? Is it just like proper prose literature? Like, it's the same concept. Anyway, Gunn says different tones are part of the plan. Gunn also addressed the larger question about how such different projects can exist in the same universe. He first posted, since the release of Clayface trailer, people have asked me, how is it going to work? One universe, different feels and genres? My answer is just like just like in comics, where different creative voices and visions inspire. We're just repeating ourselves at this point. Gunn doubled down again when another fan asked how darker villains like Clayface and Joker can eventually exist alongside Batman and Superman in future team-up movies. Gunn answered again, just like in the comics, different creative voices, impulses, and inspirations will drive each project. So while Clayface may look and feel completely different from other DCU entries, Gunn says that the variety is part of the plan, not a contradiction. Just like it should have been. Just like we've been talking about since Gunn took over and made well known that this was his plan. Like, that's the way it should be going. So it totally makes sense. Very connected. They're like, nope. One fan also asked Clayface where it is more standalone if every DCU project is part of a larger connected plan. Gunn answered, very connected, but also always the standalone story is what's most important. Which I don't know that he made that quite as explicit before. Because it seemed that, I mean, he did talk about each director and writing team getting to do their own voice. So I guess that was maybe implicit, but not very explicit until now. So there's that. It means Clayface will still matter in the bigger DCU, even as Gunn keeps the focus on telling a complete story that works on its own. Just like a freaking comic book does. So, like, it totally makes sense. Blowing up over here, man. Alright. Notable detail, as it means Clayface arrives after other DCU projects in release order, but earlier than the actual timeline. Clayface opens October 23rd of 2026. Yes. Let's go to the teaser trailer. Like I said, we're going to actually watch the dang thing, so make sure that we'll mute the music. Pause. Let's go. All right, look at that. That's so awesome. All right. Yeah, official teaser, baby. Let's go. We're going to have to pull this up in a whole nother window, aren't we? Sure shooting. What the heck? Oh, come off it. There. Now we go here. There. Dumb. There we go. All right. Ay, guy. That was loud. Whoa. Whoa. hey, 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 hey. I want to go forward. That's screenshot. Where's my... I have the whole extra... Ah! Come on, meow. Right there. Look at that! So that feels like elements design-wise. I'm not talking explicitly like this is what they're going for with the story. Because we still know explicitly what the story will... how they're going to exactly incorporate him becoming Clayface. But this design-wise feels like they're grounding this. I just lost my train of thought. Whatever, continuing on. Oh, dear Lord. That's cool! That looks super CGI, especially with the YouTube compression. So it's probably looking even worse for you because you're on double YouTube compression. But it's not done yet. Are we getting an element of Joker? Because it's really hard to do something that's even remotely related to Batman, and the second you use a clown in the imagery, there's going to be the association of Joker? So, not too far off with that now. That's crazy. Oh, this is the shot where that they talked about in the description of the when we talked about it last time before this came out. Yo. Yeah, that looks cool. October 23rd, man. Hell yeah. I'm here for it. Let's go. Let's go. All right, so that's our Clayface. Like I said, we had to talk about the Clayface. So now we go to a couple more quickies. Time is it? We still got a little bit of time, so we can do a couple more quickies, and we can knock out some of these not as time-sensitive stories that I've been sitting on for a minute. So let's go to Dutton Ranch, the new spin-off from Yellowstone. Yes, that does look so sweet. Yes, yes, it does. All right, so Dutton Ranch spin-off, baby. Puck News reports that Dutton Ranch already has behind-the-scenes drama ahead of its May 15th premiere on Paramount Plus. Yellowstone follow-up series that brings back Kelly Riley as Beth Dutton and Cole Hauser as Rip Wheeler. Wheeler has reportedly parted ways with creator and showrunner Chad Feehan after completion. Wait a minute. I thought that what's his toes? Taylor Sheridan, there he is. He's just producing. I thought he was the creator. I knew he wasn't the showrunner, obviously, because he's got like 75 different projects on his plate right now. But I really thought he was getting credited as the creator. So that's interesting. According to Puck's Matt Maloney, Feehan finished the first season, but has been told he will not return for a potential second season. So it's not that he made it known, but he was told, no, you're not coming back. Puck reports the issue was not strictly about the scripts. The report says Paramount is confident with Dutton Ranch after work on the cut, and that the scripts were considered good. Instead, the reported issue centered around how Feehan ran the production. Baloney reports Feehan clashed on set with stars Cole Hauser and Kelly Riley. Well, there you go. That's you don't do that, especially because they've been part of this franchise far longer than you have. So come on, meow. along with other key players who have been part of the Yellowstone franchise for years. Taylor Sheridan, producer David Glasser, and the stars were reportedly not happy with the situation. Feehan previously created Sheridan-produced Lawmen, Bass Reeves, before taking on Dutton Ranch. Dutton Ranch is the first follow-up to Yellowstone centered directly on Beth and Rip, which is going to... the Law one, the one with... I can't remember the other brother's name. But the one that's on CBS right now, I've seen like an episode of it, and it really is not the same quality as Yellowstone was. Probably because it's on proper broadcast television and not on going straight to streaming, so they don't have quite the same budget, different expectations because it is a procedural by and large, and you don't even have the entire cast returning, so that sucks. So I really hope they can get the tone right with the Dutton Ranch show, because you do have all of those things in place. You do have the proper cast who is involved with this part of the story returning, because obviously you can't have John Dutton coming back because he's dead. Spoilers, I guess. And like Beth and Rip were such a driving force in that show for its entirety, let alone for the abomination that was the final season. That if you get this wrong, then Taylor Sheridan's just going to be, he's going to be out another franchise. Because I feel like it won't survive if the Beth and Rip show doesn't survive. Like, I don't think there will be any other Yellowstone related projects. Sheridan wrote and ran the original Yellowstone along with prequels 1883, which was really, really good, and 1923, which is also quite good. Feehan was a relative newcomer to the franchise by comparison, and Puck reports Sheridan and Glasser are expected to elevate another season 1 writer to the showrunner role if Dutton Ranch gets a second season. Dutton Ranch premieres May 15th on Paramount Plus and Paramount Network with a 2-episode debut, much like they used to do back in the day on the cables. First season consists of 9 episodes, so really 8 episodes, with the first episode being twice as long as the rest. The series picks up after the events of Yellowstone, follows Beth and Rip as they start over in South Texas. Finn Little also returns as Carter with Annette Bening and Ed Harris, because Ed Harris is always a win, damn it. Ed Harris among the new cast members. Trailer released, Beth and Rip, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, go watch a trailer. It's gonna be good. At least good. I don't know if I'm going to say it nearly as good or great as the Yellowstone original series, but yeah, definitely going to be good. All right. We have another follow-up, and then we have a big-ish follow-up that we're going to knock out real quick. First up, we have Lanterns. Come on, meow, go away. Lanterns poster teases only one can wear the ring and reignites the backlash. Why? Why are we doing this, HBO? Why? James Gunn has released new Lanterns poster teasing only one can wear the ring while confirming the HBO Max series premieres in August. Poster paired with a short motion teaser shared by Gunn on social media has instantly reignited the backlash has been following the show ever since the first footage and images dropped. Biggest thing fans are latching onto is the tagline itself. Only one can wear the ring is already causing more debate online because one of the main complaints aimed at Lanterns has been that Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart don't appear to be positioned the way fans expected. Should I watch Yellowstone? Yes. Yes, you should watch Yellowstone. Do not waste your time with the final season. Well, the second half of the final season. The first half is really good. There was like 2 years between the first half of the final season and the last half of the final season. So yeah, you should watch. If you have not watched Yellowstone, you absolutely must. Fantastic show. Anyway, sorry. Back to Lanterns. Only one can wear the ring is already causing position fans expected. Earlier reactions in the teaser question why the series seemed to be downplaying the larger Green Lantern mythology, the core, and even the basic idea of multiple human lanterns. This was, when we watched the trailer, we talked about this, because I was purposely trying to steer away from any reactions or any information about this until we watched the trailer. And that was one of my biggest complaints with the trailer, is like, why is there only one ring? And also, why is the suit not produced by the ring? Because that's the whole thing that the ring does, is makes, whatever the wearer needs. So, just so stupid. New poster isn't calming any of that down. If anything, it's doing the opposite. Only one can wear the ring. Why are we doing this? Lines up with the reaction to the first trailer and follow-up stills, which many fans said made Lanterns look more like a grounded rural crime series than a true Green Lantern adaptation. Absolutely. Again, these are things that I said when we were doing the reaction as well. A lot of the criticism centered on the lack of bright green visuals, big constructs, cosmic scale, and the kind of spectacle people normally associate with the property. All right, so this is where my opinion on this deviates at the very least a little bit. The bright green visuals, while yes, they are a key visual element to many of the comic book stories, I don't think they're absolutely necessary in a live action adaptation. There should be some sort of green prevalent, agreed, but it doesn't have to be dominating. Big constructs, still a trailer very well could end the big constructs and cosmic scale. Those two things I feel like can still happen in this first season of the series. And if we want there to, or if HBO rather wants there to be a second season of this series, then it needs to happen at some point. But I don't think we have to start there. I think that you can start in something resembling what they're calling a rural, rural crime series. You can start there. Obviously, it can't be explicitly a rural crime series. It has to be implicitly cosmic in scale. But we don't have to see that to start. We can see that in the last 2 or 3 episodes, especially if we're getting like 8 or 9 episodes. Absolutely, we can save that reveal, the visual reveal, but it can't be a reveal in theme. The theme has to be there in order for this to work. So I don't agree that that's necessary. And also, I feel like it will be really cool if they do save those bits of spectacle for the latter half, at the very least, of the series. I feel like if you save it for the last episode, then you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. But like the last 2 to 3 episodes would make a lot of sense. Even just, introduce it by the season break, because Lord knows they're going to have a season break. So if you have 8 episodes, we're going to get those first 4 episodes, and they're probably going to take a month off, and then we're going to get the final 4 episodes. So if we have a reveal at the end of episode 4, and then episode 5 picks up and takes it into that comic direction, or the cosmic direction rather, then I think it's going to be fine. I don't think we have to start there though. Fans still aren't sold on the grounded approach. Again, I feel like as long as we are only starting here, then we're all right. Pushback started when the first teaser images made clear that Lanterns is taking a stripped-down approach focused on mystery, character drama, and an Earth-based investigation involving Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. In the trailer, though, they do address the fact that there is a bigger Lantern-involved universe. Like, they kind of at least pay lip service to that, so I'm hoping that's going to evolve into something bigger. Direction has continued to divide fans. Like, what fans are divided by this? I don't think it's the fans that are divided. I think it's, if you're phrasing it that way, it's dividing the fans from the production studio. Like, that's a division. But I think the fans are all pretty much on board with these ideas. Who wanted the series to lean harder into sci-fi side of Green Lantern? One theory previously floated is that the show may be unfolding across multiple time periods. That one, I don't think that's happening either. I think that there's going to be an unfolding, but it's not going to be across multiple time periods, because we already have both of our Lanterns who are involved in the trailer, by God. Which could help explain some of the confusion around Hal Jordan's role and why the series seems to be presenting him differently than expected. But even with that possibility, the backlash hasn't really gone away. The new poster is only reopening the same arguments. Yeah, the trailer's not doing a whole lot of good work for them, so kind of where we're at. So then our other quick piece here is we have first look at Sadie Sink as Oh no, it's not up anymore. See, this is what happens when we're 2 days or a day and a half past when we wanted to. I'm pretty sure it was up. Nope, it was probably taken down even before I wanted to start this yesterday. So, lo siento, mi amigos. But yeah, that was you can. I'm sure you can still find it somewhere if you want to go find the Sadie Sink first look that was leaked. Sponsor report from the copyright holder. I hope this is real. This is not real. Oh no, it must have been horrible. I'm really not. Well, I saw something, but I assumed it was AI. That was Jean Grey in her was that the 50s costume, the Golden Age costume with the yellow like cat eyes things, and then the green suit from the OG Professor X stuff. So that would not be great, but I don't know. Like, it must really look bad if they're causing such a stink about it. So that's what we got there. Yeah, you can go find that on your own. I'm not going to waste the time here on stream to do that. Our other big piece is Bloodborne movie. That's right. A rated R Bloodborne movie is actively in development. And one of the cooler things about this, aside from the fact that Sony and oh no, FromSoft, there we go. Woo-hoo. Sony and FromSoft are actively producing the film together, but also YouTuber Jacksepticeye is part of this as well. Now, it is not. What time is it? It is 8:30. All right. It is not going to be a live action movie, sadly. It is going to be a computer generated animation movie, but that's still going to be great, and it's going to be rated R, which very likely means it's not going to get a theatrical release, even though I really hope it does. But let's read the article, because I think I might be wrong. Another game is heading to the big screen. Sony Pictures announced at CinemaCon, which again happened last week, on Monday, that an R-rated Bloodborne movie is in development, and the details have shocked fans. Bloodborne. Oh, good lord. Bloodborne is released in 2015 as beloved gothic PlayStation horror game developed by FromSoft, known for their other ridiculously hard titles like Dark Souls, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, and Elden Ring. Also, the why can't I? I can't even think of the other franchise. But they have another franchise, and I'm just brain farting. And of course, Bloodborne is amongst the titles being one of the most celebrated games of all time. And Sony still hasn't worked out a remaster for it, which is ridiculous. However, it's never had a sequel despite player demand. Thankfully, the game is back with an upcoming movie, which I think might be Sony kind of dipping their toes into the waters, thinking maybe we should see what the actual demand for this is. If we can get people to watch this movie, then maybe we'll do a remaster. And if the remaster sells well, then maybe we'll do a sequel. I think that's the line of thinking that they're going through right now. According to the announcement at CinemaCon, the game will be transformed into an animated film that is co-produced by popular YouTube star Jacksepticeye. Sean McLaughlin, who often goes by Jack due to his online pseudonym, is easily a great choice when it comes to finding a co-producer, as he gushed over the game for years. While the plot and release date are still under wraps, but if it's going to be a retelling of the story of the game, then we kind of know what's up, right? Both Sony Pictures and PlayStation Productions say the adaptation will be true to the spirit of the game, while the fans are reluctant about the idea of a YouTuber helping the film. Why? Somebody from the community is part of the development of the film. That's a good thing. Fans of his channel know the story will be in good hands. In a post on his official Instagram, Sean McLaughlin shared the news of his excitement, saying, "I adore Bloodborne," he starts, before showcasing his collection of Bloodborne accessories, which includes a hunter's hat, a hunter's statue, and even his tattoo. Over 700 hours in the game, and I'm going to pour every single ounce of my being into making sure that it becomes the best Bloodborne adaptation that we can possibly make it. And we know that Sony does not exactly, when it comes to stuff like this, they don't really meddle so much like we used to get a lot back in the 90s and 2000s when there was a movie adaptation of a popular franchise. It's not really the name of the game as much anymore. So I am hopeful for this. Game takes place in the fantastical Victorian city of Yarnum, which has been... we don't need to go over the specs about what the hell Bloodborne is. Come on now, we know what this is. All right, I think I have time. Oh, we're going to do that one. I think I have time for 2 more. So I need to... Yeah, and all right, I know exactly what we're going to do. So the next one, Godzilla -0. We have a new teaser for Godzilla Minus Zero. If you have not watched Godzilla Minus One, oh good lord, what are you doing with your life? Go watch it now. It's on Netflix. It's dope. I would say watch the black and white first, just for that classic feel, and also probably the subbed version, not the dubbed version, but that's just me. CinemaCon 2026, again, a week ago, offered a first glimpse at Godzilla Minus Zero, and it's delivered in what can only be called a full-scale escalation. The main monster's wrath won't be limited to Japan or the Pacific based on the new footage. At the end of the new teaser just released, and shown at the event, Godzilla is shown brushing past the Statue of Liberty as he lumbers toward the Big Apple. That's right, Godzilla is about to attack New York. Manhattan and Madison Square Garden won't be safe for the first time since 1998. And even then, they were pretty safe. So, that one tantalizing closing shot proves the suspicion that director Takashi Yamazaki is going bigger for the sequel by going global, which is a step that brings his phase of Toho's Reiwa era closer in spirit to the Western counterpart than the MonsterVerse. I am here for it. If you have not watched the teaser, please go watch the teaser. I don't know that we necessarily have to talk much more about it, because this is all history of... Oh, no, this is in the new film. Yeah, all right. Yamazaki also confirmed during CinemaCon presentation that this film will be direct sequel to Godzilla Minus One via a translator, according to The Hollywood Reporter. So, it will continue to follow the story of the Shikishima family. I think that's how that was said. In the new film, an even deeper despair will descend upon Japan in the Shikishima family when overwhelming, that doesn't make sense, and inescapable force. How do people fight back? He added. The journey from minus to zero will not be an easy one. Reportedly, Minus Zero takes place 2 years after Minus One, marks the first time in decades a Japanese film plants Godzilla's massive feet in American soil, and Yamazaki may be giving a nod to the last time. In Destroy All Monsters, Godzilla blasted the UN building with his heat ray during a much bigger rampage encompassing several Toho monsters. What just happened? And an alien invasion. In ensuing years and generations, Godzilla's arrival on our shores was pitched during the development of projects such as The Return of Godzilla, but the idea never made it far. Yamazaki, who proved he is a diehard Goji fan by paying homage to previous installments like Giant Monsters All Out Attack, saw his chance to dig up these old lingering potentialities and is going bigger than any of us could have imagined. The American involvement teased in the trailer. Wow, guys, let's proofread these articles before we publish them, shall we? And in Yamazaki's initial effort in 2023 changes the game. Fans are still anticipating more. Oh man, Ghidorah or Hedorah might still have a chance to show up. Oh, Ghidorah. Really? Ghidorah? In the Minus One universe? Ooh, that's dope. That's gonna be so cool. Also, so far, there's no word corroborating the speculation. God, stop jumping around with the ads, guys. And speculation of second kaiju to contend with. When Godzilla is back, bigger, meaner, and swoller than ever, that's a good thing. It certainly is, I must agree. Big Godzilla nerd when I was a kid, for sure. All right, so that's the one. Now the other is right here. We got to talk about this because this is kind of crazy. Honestly, craziness is going on right now. I don't know if we're going to cover... Yeah, we should cover it. So this is from yesterday, and I think the news broke 2 days ago about this. So, the crazy part, and again, this is specifically dealing with Xbox partnership with Discord, so it might not cover what I want it to cover, but I do have the information, so you can go verify this for yourself. But the Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass, is dropping by $7 a month. The console version, the PC version's dropping too, but I think that's only like $3 or $4 a month. But still, going down. Prices are going down for stuff. That never happens. The reason for it is because they're changing Call of Duty. It is no longer a day one drop. Actually, in fact, Call of Duty is becoming, or is it Modern Warfare, Battlefield? I think it's Call of Duty. Whichever one Activision owns, because Microsoft owns Activision. I am totally brain farting this, but we might get to it in this article. I'm just covering this in case we don't, because it's pretty freaking huge. The reason for it is they're taking Call of Duty or Battlefield, whichever one it is, off of the day one launch. And actually, they're bumping it back by a year, which ostensibly means it's no longer going to be part of Game Pass, because the nature of those games is you get a new one every year. So you're either playing by yourself and you're really sad because you're by yourself, or you're playing the new game and you're buying it in stores. So that's super, super interesting. It gives us a little bit of insight, because now we know approximately what that the cost of Call of Duty for Microsoft is. Apparently, with the release of whatever the last Call of Duty game was on Game Pass, they lost an estimated like $350 million because it was on Game Pass for people who were already paying for the service. So, yeah, that's pretty epic. Anyway, so also going on in Xbox camp, we also have a Discord partnership. So yeah, let's talk about this and then we'll address other things, and we gotta end it probably there. So on April 22nd, Discord's X channel hinted at a collaboration with Xbox and with just the caption reading soon, and now it seems more information has been revealed. Xbox Discord partnership. Hilariously, when asked how soon are we talking about in the comments, Discord replied saying, "More soon than not soon." According to Discord previously on X, it seems as though the new partnership will result in a new Game Pass. The new tier for Discord Nitro subscribers, the $9.99 subscription, will offer free access to Xbox Game Pass Starter Edition. This will supposedly include access to 50 games from the Game Pass library, 10 hours a month of cloud games streaming, and Xbox rewards. While the full list of games offered has not been confirmed, the leaked art by the channel shows that Stardew Valley, Gears 5, Dishonored 2, Overcooked 2, Fallout 4, and Grounded are a few games in that players can expect. Yeah, and Doom. We didn't talk about Doom, did we? Yeah, he didn't talk about. It's not listed in the article there, guys. 50 games is not is on the smaller scale compared to the other Game Pass tiers. That is a great partnership for those who are looking for more perks with their Nitro subscription. And from the leaked information, it seems as though the reactions are positive, with many sharing what they might be Nitro subscribe. Blah 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 blah. Not paying $10 a month to remove a fake file size cap and customize my profile, bro. News comes just days, here we go, after it was announced that Xbox is dropping the Game Pass Ultimate price from $29.99 to $22.99. Seems like the trend is continuing, as the new Xbox CEO, Aisha Sharma, is working hard to rework as much as she can to bring Xbox back to its original state. She is doing the Lord's work out there in Microsoft gaming. Like, that is absolutely what needs to be done. Figure out a way to make it cheaper, because everything else is getting more expensive. Abso-freaking-lutely. Let's see if we can touch on that real quick, and then we will end the stream. Dropping the Game Pass. This should link us to where we want to go. So last week, news dropped. The new Xbox CEO, Ashish Sharma, believed Xbox Game Pass had become too expensive for players. Now it seems like changes are being made. Xbox announced they're dropping the price of Game Pass Ultimate. It seems like Sharma is listening to players, as she quickly dropped the prices in an official post published today. So this was published on the 21st, just a couple days ago. Game Pass Ultimate is dropping from $29.99 to $22.99 a month. Along with that, PC Game Pass will also drop, $3, $2.50, $16.49 to $13.99 a month. Both changes are effective immediately. However, the Essential tier and Premium tier will remain the same, priced at $9.99, which is the one I use, and $14.99 respectively. But even with only two prices changing, this feels like a win for players. Absolutely. I think when they see that this is going to do big things for them, they're going to probably do something similar for the other tiers. I don't know that the Essential tier will ever be less than $10. However, the Premium tier, I think, could go down to about $12, because that would be enough of an incentive for people who, like me, are doing the $10 a month to bump that up just by $2 or $3 even. I would consider a $3 bump, not a $5 bump. But a $3 bump is not out of the question, so that's pretty awesome. But again, this is just speculation on my part. Downside, Call of Duty. That's what it was. Call of Duty. I was right. are no longer included as day one releases. Instead, will be added during the following holiday season, so about a year later, according to the Post. One of the biggest perks of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is that players receive day one releases, and that usually includes Call of Duty franchise. Being the biggest franchise for Xbox, it seemed they realized they were losing a lot of money. No kidding. We don't get those numbers though. So yeah, I had heard the numbers on a different source, not this one. But that's where we're sitting. So pretty freaking awesome. I must say. That is where we are ending things today there, nerds. So let's go back here. All right, so appreciate your faces, nerds. Thank you very much for sticking around. Don't forget to check out the merch store link down in the description. You can go grab yourself your Phantom Nerd shirt. I love this design. There will be more awesome designs coming, I swear. But yeah, go check out your Phantom Nerd. It's not just a shirt. It's on a hoodie, which is probably going to be the next thing I grab out of my store is the Phantom Nerd hoodie because I freaking love it. And I put it on bottles and cups and things. So there's that, but also channel partner here with the things and the stuff. That's not the right spot. That's the right spot. W.GG for all of your caffeine related needs. Because, you know, it's like buck and a quarter or something to buy an energy drink, or you can do like $1.15 to fill an energy drink with the powder and, you know, get some better quality energy in your life, because it's not just packed full of caffeine and there's no sugar. It's a pretty clean energy drink. You're not going to get a lot of crazy crashes. You're not going to get the jitters. You're just going to get clean focus, and that's why I love it. Also, it tastes quite good. Really, legitimately, go try the Tiger's Blood. Go try the s'mores. I cannot say this enough. The s'mores is shockingly good, and so is the Tiger's Blood. And also, I love the Calio Cream, and their Push and Punch is also freaking fantastic. So go get yourself something, because if you are an energy drinker at all, then you should try Dubby. Use code GenerallyNerdy at checkout. You'll get 10% off of your tub and whatever else is in your cart. Plus, I get a little bit of a kickback. Dubby gets to sell some products. It's a win all over. So love those guys. Thank you very much, Dubby, for partnering with the channel. We will see you nerds, though, later. It is time to sign off. I appreciate that you are here. I appreciate that you are getting your news from me and joining in the conversation and all that jazz. So before we go, nerds, always remember that if it is generally nerdy, it is probably here, and we will see